Gestation and lactation are the only things that you cannot do as a father.
Well, how about, as far as an aha moment, John, have you had any ideas as a dad, and what were they?
Yeah, I think this is one of those sort of times when sort of I initially got thinking about this, one thing came back to me. It was actually not long after the birth of our eldest child, and I'd read all the parenting books, and they all said that a newborn child, I forget what it is, I think it's the first 6 weeks they're supposed to only see in black and white. But I noticed the house we lived in at the time, it had a front door with a glass pane with all the panes of glass from different colours. And I just noticed that when you had her in your arms, she would keep looking over to the red patterning in the glass, where some of the glass was stained red. And it just got me suspicious that she was actually much more light sensitive and colour sensitive than she should have been for her age. And I know there was one night, because she was a surgical birth, basically forceps birth, and my wife Jill, it took her a little while to recover. So for the first few nights after we came home, I actually slept downstairs with the baby in her Moses basket next to me, so my wife could actually recover and get some rest. And after a few days of this, my wife began to notice just how tired I was, because the baby wasn't sleeping and I wasn't getting any sleep. So my wife took baby into the spare room and she tried to sleep with her, but the baby was screaming. It just would not rest at all. And I noticed that what she was doing, she was trying to sleep with like a bedside light on. So I said to Jill, just turn that light off and see what happens. So I joined the two of them in the room and turned the light off, and sure enough, about 2 minutes later, Helen fell asleep. That's a very long-winded story. I'm sorry, I do like the sound of my own voice. But what I'm trying to say is, I think you need to sometimes you should stand back and just watch your children and just pick up the vibes from them. Because the only reason I thought about that light was because I'd noticed the way her eyes would always drift off and look at that red pane of glass in the door frame. And I think we can, as parents, sometimes try and sort of force our own agenda on children, but actually we should just step back and watch, learn from them, and listen to what it is they actually want.
Yeah, I like that idea of just being careful to observe something that might not be readily apparent.
Gestation and lactation are the only things that you cannot do as a father.